Welcome to a new episode on the use of ConceptBase. My name is Manfred Jolsfeld. The topic today is how to use the module system in ConceptBase. So what is a module and how can you define submodules inside modules? So when you start the ConceptBase user interface, then you are usually assigned to the home module called oHome. So that's like your home directory in the file system. If you press this list module button, then you see the current content of this module. It shows at the top the module path. So we are currently in the oHome module, which is a submodule of the system module. System module has all the predefined objects. Like class, proposition, query class, etc. And you should not change it. So the home module is virtually empty when you start. So let's make a small definition here. Employee in class with attribute name string. So very small. We tell that, and now it is defined here. We could continue defining more classes, maybe some queries, maybe some rules and constraints. So this is at the moment the class level. Let's assume we would like to instantiate that in a submodule. So define the instances of employee not in the same module, but in a submodule, so that we could have several submodules where different sets of instances are kept apart from each other. So while we are in our oHome module, we define, for example, M1 in module. So that's our first submodule. And let's make a second one, M2 in module end. So they are defined as objects in the oHome module, but now we can switch to these submodules. So when we use this select module or select module menu item, we are offered with a current choice of modules. So oHome is our current module, and we could, for example, go to M1. I double click it, and then we are in M1. So let's show the content of this M1 module inside oHome, which is inside the system module. So being a submodule means that you can see all the definitions in the supermodule. So if we would load employee, then we would see the definition of employee in the supermodule oHome, but we would probably change it in the module oHome and not here in the submodule. So let's define some instances. Bill in employee with name. Bill's name is William Smith, and so just an arbitrary instance. Now, if we show the content of the module, we indeed see only Bill is defined, but we use the definition in the supermodule. This is visible in our submodule M1. Let's display that in the graph editor. We have here Bill, and it has this object has a name, Bill's name. Now this is instance of employee. So Bill is an object of our submodule M1, and employee is defined in the oHome module. Now let's save this file, this graph file, save on the desktop, maybe give it a name like bill.gel. Save it, and now it's here on the top left, and now we can terminate the user interface. The graph file will maintain the module path and all the sources that were defined. So if we double click that, then the graph is loaded and we are in the module context M1 that you see here in the header of this graph file. Now if we load this object in the Telos editor, let's make it bigger. Then you see we are in M1, in the M1 module. We can also list the module content again, and this confirms that we are in the M1 module, and that's the only definition. But we can also go one module up in the oHome module, and there we have our definition of employee. So in the graph file, it saves the whole module path from system, oHome, and then M1. Remember, M2 was also defined as a submodule of oHome, but we didn't use that when we defined the object bill in M1. So when we save the graph file, only the source code of the module system, oHome, and M1 will be stored in the graph file. If you use a persistent database, then of course the whole module tree will be stored in the database. So that's enough for the moment. I include a link to the corresponding chapter in the user manual, and until then, see you.